Hey, what's up, everyone, world? This is Giovanni tuning in live today. Well, not live, but pre-recorded. Um, I just want to apologize for neglecting you guys once again. Um, it is August 24th, 2015. We have a lot to catch up on, so I'm gonna get started. If you guys followed my videos or followed me, woo, last year and prior to, I was uploading videos where I was transitioning. I went to the doctor in Chicago, saw the very well-known, HRT doctor, got my hormones prescribed around October 1st, and started them around that same time. Then this spring of this year, I started school at Chicago State, moved there. Semester was going well, then bam. All of a sudden, I started getting headaches. Headaches like no tomorrow. It was more like a pressure and more like cold sweats on the back of my head. Now my sides are shaved, and I'm actually letting them grow out, so they look really ratchet. But my sides are shaved, so I can't say that my head was just hot, because it was cold as hell in Chicago in the this past spring. And on top of that, I couldn't. It happened mostly at night. I had cold sweats, and it still happens to this day. But I'll get to that in a second. Anyways, so I was on my hormones, and it came down to maybe that can be the cause of it. So maybe mid-semester, I stopped taking my hormones. I think almost near the end of the semester, near May, I stopped taking my hormones. I was supposed to be on 20 milligrams every 2 weeks of estrogen and 200 milligrams every day of spironolactone. So I thought, oh my God, because I did stop taking the spironolactone because of the headaches. I thought that was it. And I was told that that wasn't a wise idea because those are, water pills. So maybe that could have caused me to have high blood pressure, and maybe that's why my head was hurting. So I just got scared. I didn't go see the doctor, even though I was in Chicago. I didn't go see the HRT doctor because I didn't want to, I was scared of the outcome. And two, I didn't have a way to get there, along with me thinking I didn't have insurance, even though I did. So in a combination of all those things, that happened, and I ended up going to the ER. I ended up going to South Bend on a weekend and panicking. I was like, oh my God, what if I have, tumors or something? So my sister took me to the ER, and they checked me, and they said, maybe it's just stress. Stress, really? Headaches? Pressure, all back here, fevers and all this shit. So that's what they told me. It was probably stress. I said, okay, it eased my mind for a bit, but I still had it. And I mean, the beginning of this year. So I took that and ran with it. Then I went back to school, tried to forget about it, but I was still feeling a weird sensation in my head. Then I decided to, talk to my roommates about it, and they started freaking out. I started freaking out. They're like, oh my Gio, you better go get checked. It can be anything, maybe an STD, HIV, whatever. And so of course I did. Due to my past, I said, okay, I'm gonna go get checked. So while in Chicago, I met a wonderful man with which I live in this apartment now in Indiana still. And anyways, I'll tell you guys about that in a second. Anyways, I met him, I told him, and he embraced everything I was and everything I am. And he said, I'll go with you. I was so scared. I went to the wellness center at the university for students, and I saw a nurse practitioner. She immediately asked me if I got checked for all that stuff. I said, yeah. I said, no, I haven't. Not recently. And she said, oh. So she ran some tests. She gave me a full panel, and then she told me to go see her in 2 weeks. During that time frame, I was freaking out. When I went to see her and my test came back fine, I was like, oh shit. And I actually went with the person I'm living with now, and I'll tell you guys about him in a second. Anyways, he went with me. It was fine. I was scared as hell, of course. Everyone is when they go read some type of results that can be life-changing in any way or alternating. So I went, got the results. Everything was negative. She said my creatinine levels were a little high, but it was possibly because I could have been dehydrated. My veins at the time were also hard to find. And in general, I have hard veins anyways. So there on after, I was just like, okay, if that's not it. She said, maybe you're just dehydrated. I was like, okay. So I let that slide. And as the summer was approaching, it was getting hotter and hotter. As it was getting hotter and hotter, my headaches were becoming more and more consistent. So I put everything together. I was like, maybe it's just, allergies. So I wrote it out, was taking, allergy. I took, what the hell did I take? I took like the what the hell was it? Like the Claritin, I think. I don't know what the hell I took. Not Claritin, but I took some shit. It was some over-the-counter stuff that I bought at Walmart. And I guess placebo-wise, it might have made me feel better. But no. I'm wrong. I finished my semester. I stopped taking all my medicines right before I left Chicago State. Right before May, I stopped taking my medicines. Sorry, I'm all over the place. There's just a lot to catch up on. So right before I left Chicago State, right before May something, like mid-May, when my semester was over, I stopped taking my medicines, and I stopped taking my hormones. And I thought maybe that was going to make me feel better. Well, didn't. So here I am, I let time go without me taking my hormones, trying to ride it out. And so I moved to Indiana, started a job, moved in with my fiance. He's my fiance now. I know time flies and things pass. I have a fiance now, and I was trying to hold off on that, but I have to slide it in there. Anyways, I moved in with him, got a job at a salon here in the city that I live in, and headaches were still coming. Headaches, night sweats. Feels like a fever, but they kept taking my temperature and it was normal. So it had to be like a sinus pressure that makes it feel like a fever. So I went to see a doctor, and he said it might be just an upper respiratory infection and or allergies, but I have to see a specialist for that, which I didn't have the money for. So he gave me some amoxicillin to maybe kill the infection, and that, let me tell you, it worked for that little time. Weeks passed by and it hit me again. And this time it was aching more, and this time the pain was not back here, it's here. Now it's here. And so we were at that place where we lived with him and his daughter-in-law and his son, which that didn't go well at all. But anyways, I'll tell you guys about that later. We ended up finding our own place. We moved. We lived here since last month. Today is August 24, 2015. So we lived here since July 10th. We have our own place. And, I went to the ER like twice here. And the first time they told me it was probably just fatigue. I was like, okay, where? So, the ER doctor sent me to get that checkup at another doctor, and that doctor said it might just be upper respiratory infection, because he also ran labs, and that also was normal. So, with my symptoms, I possibly did not know how to describe them. But, so then I went to the ER recently, 2 or 3 weeks ago, because this constant headache and pains, and I'm tired of it. I'm getting tired of it. And I'm figuring out that it's possibly not my hormones, unless, they give me an MRI and it may be something. Hopefully it's not, because I'm hoping and planning to start again here soon. I went to the ER. I told her, you know, they told me it was possibly this, but it's still going on. And I, just before I went to the ER that day, 2.5 weeks ago, I told her, you know, what could it be? I did my research and maybe it's sinusitis because my symptoms coincide. And somebody at work mentioned it. I think it was one of my clients. And they were like, you know, have you thought about this? If the symptoms are this, you know, aching, it's almost like a toothache and even almost like a jaw ache right here, my upper jaw and back here and my ear started hurting, you know, my forehead, my nose, the left side was burning and my eyes were like feeling so tired and I feel like a heat right here. And, you know, in the back of my head, I even get cold sweats because of it. And me, I'm prone to panic attacks. So, you know, I exaggerate things. So, he opened my eyes. So that day when I went to the ER, I told her, you know, one of my clients told me it was possibly sinusitis. She was like, what you're telling me sounds like that's probably what it is. And she put down acute sinusitis on the paper. But at that time, that day I went to the ER because I felt like I couldn't breathe. One of my lymph nodes was swollen. So I asked her, you know, she gave me prednisone. She gave me a Flonase nasal spray. She gave me amoxicillin 825 coated with some other stuff. And then she gave me pseudoephedrine. That has been helping me out, not necessarily taking it away. Because now I am, today, you know, it's almost 2 weeks. I'm out of the 2-week amount of amoxicillin that she gave me. I was out yesterday. It was my last dose, and I'm still feeling this way. And I still have that Flonase, the nasal spray. But I can only take that twice a day. What about in between? So I finally made a decision to... tomorrow morning, I do have an appointment with a ear, nose, and throat doctor. And hopefully, I'm praying to God, maybe it is just a, you know, sinus infection. And he has to go in there because the infection isn't going away with medicine. Maybe he might have to go in there and cleanse everything out, sinus surgery. That would be fine because then thereafter, I can continue my hormones. So I'm hoping if that is going to be what it is, I'm hoping that is what it is. No cancer or anything like that because I'm not having it. And plus I'm scared as hell. I've never been put under for any kind of surgery, not even when my wisdom teeth were pulled out. So I'm scared, but we're gonna see what tomorrow, you know, what we're gonna come across. And along with that, you guys see I have all this facial hair. I am letting my sides grow back out because, as you guys know, if you guys know me, you guys know that my hair was cut on both sides. And you guys see how uneven that looks? One side is higher than the other. And so I'm letting it grow out. It looks really stupid, but I have to do it. And besides that, I'm thinking if tomorrow, you know, if he checks me out, decides that's what it is, if we get the ball rolling for, you know, for something else, you know, maybe he has to run some tests or whatnot. Because right now, as I'm speaking, this right here hurting, and I'm tired of feeling drained. I'm tired of feeling I can't go out, not even in the sun, especially in the heat, in this humidity. I went to the flea market yesterday, and I was ready to go home because it was burning to breathe. It sucks. I haven't been able to enjoy my life. Now that I do have a fiance, while I was at Chicago State, now let me fill you on this. While I was at Chicago State, I met a guy. I'm not going to say his name, but you guys know who he is if you're on my Facebook or whatever, because you have been, you know, encouraging me to do these videos, which I think is a good thing because I didn't have anyone to make videos at my request or anything. So it's awesome. I met him. He's amazing. He's retired. And, you know, we decided, and he was with me transitioning, and he was with helping me, you know, and he's been there emotionally and everything for me. So what more can I ask for? What else? So me and him are engaged. He has met my parents. When he met my parents, at first my parents were like, no, we don't want to see him. But on Father's Day, me and him went to the mall, picked my dad up a gift from Express, and then dropped it off. Well, he was in the car and I got off. And my dad was in our backyard in our driveway, and he was like, Gio, you need to introduce him to me. Tell him to come in so I can meet him. So he met my fiance on Father's Day, and ever since then, we've all been hanging out. We even went yesterday to my, in Calumet City in Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. We even went to my grandpa's memorial, and me and him even went inside the church, and my dad's family met him. But my aunts were giving us the stink look, but you know, we didn't care. We were still like, honey, we are sitting in church. Anyways, so you know, they met him and they met me. My aunts and uncles, I mean, if they're not with it, oh well. Like, as long as my parents are, that's fine, because people are gonna have to get on the wagon. If not, they're just left. But I'm happy, and I'm hoping to get the ball rolling with my transition again, because I swear it's stressful, it's taxing, and it's unmotivating. I have went out a few times, you know. I would even call it in drag because I'm not on my hormones, and as you guys can see, my changes, like, I'm wearing my Indiana State t-shirt. You guys seen how this fit me? Like, my titties went away. I mean, there's still there's a little move there. Look how big I got. Like, no. Like, I gained weight, and it's because of the stress. And I've been going to the gym these last few days, which I'm going to actually end up doing here tonight. But I've been stressing. And I'm just waiting. Hopefully they can find what's wrong with me. And hopefully by tomorrow, you know, the ear, nose, and throat doctor, which I'm lucky because his clinic is like a block away from my house, from my apartment. Like, not only is he close and convenient, but he's right there. And if he finds something, okay, let's get the ball rolling. Let's make me better, because I want to start transitioning again. I just hope the doctor in Illinois, in Chicago, the hormone doctor, takes me serious. Because if not, I'm going to have to go other ways of getting my hormones. Because, I mean, I made an appointment throughout this time, but because of how I've been feeling, I let it go again. And I've been on hormones on and off for so long. I need to get it together. But this time it's not only for me. It's because the guy that I'm with met me as Leanna. He met me as the girl. But I always introduce myself to him as Gio. Because out of respect, my parents call me Gio, so I might as well just be Gio. Shit, I can be Gio and still look cute. Giovanni. It can still be a nice feminine name. And so, you know, he met me as a woman. In the middle of him meeting me, I stopped my hormones, turned into this. And he stuck with me, so that's love right there. Besides that, I haven't had any, my body fat redistributed. It's looking boyish. I feel like people may still say, you still look like a woman, you know, just have to shave and this and that. It's not the same. I have a tattoo now. And I was actually wearing this with like my little dresses and stuff when I was in school. I got this done in school. It's a heart. And I've gotten a tattoo since you guys met me. And there's a lot of other things I want to catch up on, but let's just make this one the returning video. I'm going to try to make one, you know, once a week. I'm going to try to make one where I'm actually wearing makeup so you guys can see what I look like, even though I know it's not the same because, I mean, look at this. It's a mess. All right, and I love you guys, and stay tuned for more. Danielle, thank you very much, mamas, and I will stay tuned, and I want to see a video from you. Take care, everyone.